Hey, welcome back to Dream Pisces channel. Thank you so much for coming back to see part 2. Obviously, it was something that I said that intrigued you to come back and watch after that long 11-minute video. But I want to just go ahead and dive right in. Just to recap my last video, I was speaking about the spiritual awakening process. Some things that happened to me going through, coming from the Christian religion into an ocean of knowledge. The ocean of knowledge is endless. My God, it's so endless. But when you step outside of what you've always been taught and you start, diving into different topics and reading and researching of different things that you've never really known about, but this journey, this spiritual awakening, it leads you. It literally tugs at your heart. And when you're resting at night, questions might pop into the world like, why do we celebrate holidays? Why do we eat the diet that we eat? Are there aliens that exist? Who helped to build the pyramids? Wondering about our law system, wondering about our school system. Why do we go to school? Why do we have these curriculums set up the way that they do? Why do we, take SOLs? Why do we have such an issue with alcohol and hardcore drugs? How come, marijuana is illegal? How come all of the presidents have been white? Who are the Masons? Who are the Rothschilds? Who are the Rockefellers? What is this crap that they're spraying in the air? Why do we have to vaccinate our children, and what's in these vaccines? This is just a few questions, because the questions are endless, But as your eyes start to open, and I'm talking about these, and your mind's eye, as it starts to open, you start to question things, you start to read about the origins. Why do we do this? What's up with Christianity? Where did it come from? Where did it originate from? Who is Constantine? Especially when Hidden Colors came out, boy, that really opened up a lot of our eyes. And I feel as though, if you've never watched Hidden Colors, you should watch it. It'll help you. It'll help you on your journey, just to kind of give you a jump start. But I want to talk about some of the positives and the negatives of the spiritual awakening that I've personally experienced. Perhaps you can understand or relate, or feel free to leave your comments and share some of your experiences. So the positives. In my last video, I stated that I used to always, as a child, I was a big daydreamer. I still am. I try to stay a little bit more grounded, but it's kind of hard to when it's just your nature to want to daydream. I can't turn it off. I don't care what I do. I can try to be as structured as possible, but my mind, it's hard to stop that. We're all different, and I accept it. That's a part of who I am. But I used to always say, maybe there's something else. I always felt like it was some sort of a magic out there, not just you get up and go to school and you come home and do homework, you eat, you take a shower, you go to bed, and you keep doing it all over again. That just never set well with me. And even as I started to get older, and I went out into the workforce, and I was, working and tired, and I would go shopping, and, you go to movies, and you just do what everyone else is doing. But I still had this desire. I said that there is something else. There is something else to this life up beyond that. Something deeper. So I finally got my wish. My wish was confirmed that there is something else. And in 2013, I started taking that journey. The positives to being spiritually awakened is the knowing. The knowing that I was a spiritual being, and it finally hit home that I'm here in this beautiful, the world is beautiful, the world is beautiful, and I was able to connect with nature. I was able to put my feet in the ground and, breathe in that earth energy, and it would revive me. But it's all in what you believe. And people say, don't say believe, because to believe something, it's like the word lie is in believe, but it's really whatever you think, that's what becomes real to you. So I would be able to connect with nature. I've always felt connected to nature and animals, so that was just natural, but it was different. It was like bumped up to a whole nother level of being able to connect. I was, positives are being able to see other people as spiritual beings trapped, kind of trapped in their bodies and being full of confusion most of the time. And I would be like, wow, I know the answers. I know what could set them free, or at least I knew what could assist with setting them free. And the positives are you gain all this plethora of knowledge. You gain a different set of schooling, how to be better, how to be kinder to yourself. Spiritual awakening led me to holistic healing. Spiritual awakening led me to meditation, and from meditation I actually was able to, on many occasions, because I was able to tap in, like literally, you can close your eyes, you can concentrate, do your breathing, and everything is flipped inside out, and you realize in the darkness within yourself, it's a whole world that's just like, it's so hard to explain, but like when you open your eyes, you see all of this. But when you close your eyes, you see all of that. And it's just this endless universe on the inside, if that makes any sense. But if you've meditated and you were able to tap in, you understand what I'm talking about. You understand. You go inside and you could even hear the message and the truth, and your intuition starts to talk to you and to tell you that it's going to be okay. And you might even be able to hear from your ancestors intuitively. So meditation is really, really deep, but it's a lot of us have a hard time tapping into that meditation because it is it's hard to calm the mind down. You got to be able to calm the mind down in order to meditate, and it's a practice. It's something that you have to do over and over and over again in order to really, really get there. But it was big. Spiritual awakening, will mostly everybody, it's going to lead you to yoga, teaching you how to come in contact with making the body connected with the spirit, and that's a beautiful experience. I love yoga. I don't really do it as much as I used to, but I love it because it connects you. A lot of times we get lost in the body. We get lost in our heads, but yoga bridges the gap and it brings both of those together, and that's where you get this power. You feel this power inside. Another positive of spiritual awakening is love. A lot of empathy, power. You start realizing God is not outside of me. If you want to say God, that's just a term, but God is not outside. God is in me. My blood, my DNA is connected to my ancestors. Duh. If you think about it. It's like we're all connected, and you start to realize that that's a beautiful positive of a spiritual awakening. You realize that you can visualize things, you can manifest things. Most people on their spiritual journey, they start to tap into the law of attraction. Excuse me, my allergies are acting up. You tap into the law of attraction. I feel as though how the law really works is, yes, you visualize these things. You can create your dream boards. You can do all of these things to create this life that you want, and you visualize it before you get it. But you also have to have the actions. Excuse me. You have to have the actions. If you're working and you're moving And you're also visualizing, eventually it's going to come together. And that people say that's the law of attraction. Just, visualize these things, and you keep thinking about these things, and do your positive affirmations, and these things are going to come. It's going to help, but it takes work. I realize it takes work. Nothing is going to just come, but I'm going to tell you though, when you're on the spiritual awakening and people be like, oh, stuff isn't going to fall out the sky. Some stuff does just fall out the sky, The creator, the source energy that is pumping in our hearts and waking us up every day will give us things along the way. Stuff will just drop out the sky into our laps, and that could be anything. That could be anything. And that is because I feel that, ancestors and our guardians and Most High, and they know that we struggle here on this earth. So every now and then they got to throw a dog a bone. I'm not calling you a dog. I'm not a dog. But, they got to throw us something just to keep us going. And I remember throughout my journey, every now and then these little miracles would take place. And I'd be like, whoa. Little signs would pop out just to let me know I'm on the right track. And it was very helpful. I'm trying to think of some more positives of spiritual awakening. It's just, you just have this sense of knowing, and yeah, it will kind of make you feel like an outsider. You can kind of sit around a crowded room or a crowded park, and you just kind of observe. You turn into the observer on your spiritual awakening, which is positive. You're not just in the rat race. You're actually able to step outside of the cage, in a sense, and look around and just observe. Just observe people. But a lot of times when you do that, you can observe a lot of pain and a lot of distress that people have going on. And you think to yourself, wow, if people would just be awake, if people would just wake up, their lives would be better. So we think. But, the spiritual awakening it's not all that great either. I'm going to have to come back with a part 3 and talk about the negatives and the downside of the spiritual awakening, because there are many. There are many, especially if you're not able to fully unplug from this system and, get into your hippie lifestyle. If you're really not able to live that type of life, that organic lifestyle, meditation, and, you still got to go to work, you still got to go to school, you still got to take care of your kids and pay your bills, you're still in the matrix. There's some downsides to that. So I'll be right back, you guys. Thank you for your patience. Thanks for sticking around.